C key, point 1 scene level, based listening. From A1 to C2, welcome to today's listening challenge. In this episode, you are going to test your English levels from A1 all the way to C2. But first, let me explain something important. English levels are not about intelligence, they are not about talent. They are about exposure, practice, and experience. The levels A1 to C2 come from the common European framework of reference for languages. At A1, you understand very simple sentences. At C2, you understand almost everything, even fast, complex speech. Today, we will move step by step. You will listen, you will notice, and you will discover your levels. Let's begin with A1. A1 is beginner level. At this level, you understand very basic information. For example, my name is Sarah. I am 20 years old. I live in London. I like coffee. These sentences are short, clear, simple. If you understand these sentences easily, that's good. Now let's make it slightly more complex. This is A2 level. A2 includes simple daily conversations. For example, yesterday, I went to the supermarket to buy some food. It was very busy, so I had to wait in line. This is still simple, but now we have past tense. We have more details. If you understand this without translating every word, you are around A2. Now let's move to B1. B1 is intermediate level. At this level, you can understand opinions and short explanations. For example, I think working from home has both advantages and disadvantages. On one hand, people save time because they don't commute. On the other hand, some people feel lonely. Now the sentences are longer. We are expressing opinions. We are comparing ideas. If you understand the main idea clearly, you may be at B1. Now let's go to B2. B2 is upper intermediate. At this level, speech becomes more natural and detailed. For example, many companies are changing their policies because employees are asking for more flexibility. As a result, hybrid work models are becoming increasingly popular. Here, the vocabulary is more advanced. The ideas are more abstract. You must understand cause and effect. If this feels comfortable, you may be at B2. Now we move to C1. C1 is advanced. At this level, you can understand complex arguments and subtle meaning. For example, while technological progress has undoubtedly improved efficiency, it has also raised ethical concerns regarding privacy and data security. Now we are discussing abstract ideas, ethics, privacy, social impact. The vocabulary is sophisticated. The sentences are longer. If you understand not only the words but also the deeper meaning, you may be at C1. Finally, C2. C2 is near native level. At this level, you understand fast speech, idioms, and nuanced meaning. For example, in retrospect, the decision seemed inevitable. Given the economic climate and the mounting pressure from stakeholders. This sentence contains advanced vocabularies. In retrospect, inevitable, mounting pressure. These expressions are not basic. They require strong exposure to English. Now here is something important. If you do not understand everything at the higher levels, that is completely normal. The goal is not to feel discouraged. The goal is awareness. Ask yourself, at which level did I start to struggle? Was it B1? Was it B2? Maybe C1? This is your current listening level. And that is powerful information. Because when you know your level, you know where to focus. If A2 feels comfortable, but B1 feels difficult, then B1 content is perfect for practice. It is slightly challenging, but not impossible. This is where growth happens. Listening that is too easy does not help much. Listening that is too difficult creates frustration. You need balance. Now remember something important. Understanding does not mean knowing every word. Even advanced learners do not know every word. Understanding means you can follow the main idea. You can answer basic questions. You can explain what you heard. So after listening, ask yourself, what was the topic? What was the main message? Can I summarize it in simple English? If yes, that level is comfortable for you. Testing. Your level is not about passing or failing, it is about discovering your starting point. Because improvement begins with clarity. So today, as you listen, do not judge yourself. Do not compare yourself to others. Just observe. Notice where you feel confident. Notice where you feel confused. That is your maps. And once you know your map, you can improve faster, step by step, level by level, from A1 all the way to C2. And that is how you test your English level through listening. A key point 20 active listening techniques to measure real understanding. Welcome back. Now that you understand the different levels, from A1 to C2, let's talk about something very important. How do you really test your listening? Not just hearing English, but understanding it. Many learners think listening means playing audio in the background, while cooking, while scrolling on the phone, while doing something else. But that is passive listening. Passive listening is useful sometimes, but it does not show your real level. To measure your English accurately, you need active listening. Active listening means full attention. Your ears are listening. Your brain is working. You are thinking about meaning. Let me show you how to do it step by step. First technique, listen without subtitles. This is very important. When you read subtitles, your brain focuses on reading, not listening. Reading is easier. Listening is harder. If you want to test your listening level, close the subtitles. Just listen. Ask yourself, do I understand the main idea? Can I follow the conversation? If yes, that level is comfortable for you. If not, that level may be too high right now. Second technique, listen for the main idea first. Do not try to understand every word. That is a common mistake. Even advanced speakers do not catch every single word. Focus on the big picture. For example, imagine you hear this. Today, we're discussing how social media affects teenagers and their mental health. Maybe you don't know every word, but you understand the topic is social media and mental health. That is enough for the main idea. Understanding the topic means your listening is working. Third technique, after listening, pause and summarize. This is powerful. Stop the audio and ask yourself, what did I just hear? Try to explain it in simple English. For example, they talked about working from home. Some people like it. Some people don't. If you can summarize, even in simple words, you understood. If you cannot explain anything, you may need easier content. Fourth technique, notice unknown words, but do not panic. When you hear a word you don't know, ask, can I guess the meaning from context? For example, the company faced significant financial challenges last year. Maybe you don't know significant, but you understand the company had financial problems. So, significant probably means big or important. This guessing skill is essential. Real life listening does not allow you to pause every second. You must continue listening even when you miss a word. Fifth technique, answer simple questions. After listening, ask yourself questions like, who was speaking? What was the topic? What happened? Why did it happen? If you can answer basic questions, your comprehension is strong. If you cannot answer, the level may be too difficult. Now let's talk about something important. Difficulty is not failure. If you struggle at B2 level, that does not mean you are bad at English. It simply means your current listening. A G level may be B1, and that is okay. Every learner has a level. The goal is not to feel embarrassed. The goal is to practice at the right level. Now here is a small challenge you can try. Listen to a short audio one time only. Do not replay it. After listening, write 3 sentences about what you understood. Then listen again. Notice how much more you understand the second time. This shows your brain adapting, growing, improving. Active listening also means removing distractions. Put your phone away. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if it helps. Focus only on the sound. When you train your attention, your listening improves faster. Another powerful technique is shadowing. Listen to one sentence. Pause. Repeat it out loud. Try to copy the rhythm and pronunciations. This forces your brain to process every sound carefully, and it improves both listening and speaking at the same time. Now let me remind you of something important. Testing your listening level is not about perfection. It is about awareness. You are discovering your strengths and your weak points. Maybe you understand daily conversations easily, but struggle with abstract topics. Listening where to focus. Listening about news, business, science, or deeper discussions. This is how you improve fast, by knowing exactly where you stand. So remember, listening is not just hearing, it is understanding. Active listening requires attention, patience, and practice. Listen without subtitles. Focus on the main idea. Summarize after listening. Guess meaning from context. Answer simple questions. Remove distractions. And practice regularly. When you listen actively, you train your brain to process English naturally. And step by step, your comprehension becomes faster, stronger, more automatic. That is how you truly measure your levels. And that is how you improve your English listening effectively. Key. Point 30a. How to improve quickly after identifying your level. Welcome back. Now you have tested your English level. Maybe you discovered you are A2, maybe B1, maybe B2. Wherever you are, that is your starting point. And your starting point is powerful. Because once you know your level, you can improve faster. Many learners stay stuck for one simple reason. They practice the wrong level. Some people choose content that is too easy. Hey, understand everything, but they do not grow. Other people choose content that is too difficult. They feel lost. They feel frustrated. And they want to quit. The secret to fast improvement is this: practice slightly above your level, not too easy, not too hard, just a little challenging. Let me explain. If you are comfortable at A2 level, start practicing B1 content. If you are comfortable at B1, practice B2. This small stretch forces your brain to grow. Your brain learns best when it is challenged, but not overwhelmed. Now let's talk about how to improve step by step. First, repeat difficult sections. When you listen to something challenging, do not move on too quickly. Listen again and again. The first time you may understand 60%. The second time, maybe 75%. The third time, maybe 90%. Repetition builds clarity. Repetition builds confidence. Do not be afraid of listening to the same audio multiple times. That is not boring. That is smart practice. Second, use shadowing. Shadowing means listening and repeating immediately. You hear a sentence. You repeat it out loud. Try to copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, the speed. This improves your listening and speaking at the same time. It also trains your brain to process English faster. At first, shadowing feels difficult. But after a few days, it becomes easier, and you will notice your speaking becomes more natural. Third, build vocabulary from context. When you hear a new word, do not just memorize the definition. Look at how it is used. For example, the weather was unpredictable. Instead of only learning, unpredictable. Notice the sentence. Notice how it connects to weather. Create your own simple sentence. My schedule is unpredictable. This makes the word active in your brain, not passive. Fourth, practice summarizing. After listenings, pause and explain what you understood. Use simple English. Even if your summary is short, that is fine. For example, they talked about exercise. It is good for mental health. Summarizing helps you check your understanding, and it improves your speaking skills too. Now let's talk about consistencies. Improvement does not happen in 1 week. It happens with daily contact. Even 15 minutes per day can change your level over time. But it must be regular. Small daily effort is stronger than long, rare study sessions. Here is a simple routine you can follow. Step 1. Listen to content slightly above your level for 10 minutes. Step 2. Replay difficult parts. Step 3. Shadow 3 to 5 sentences. Step 4. Summarize what you heard. This routine takes about 20 minutes, but if you do it every day, your improvement will be clear. Now here is something important. Do not compare yourself to advanced speakers. Your journey is unique. If you are B1 today, that is success. Many people never reach B1. Celebrate your level, then focus on the next step. Improvement is like climbing stairs. You do not jump from the first step to the 10th. You go step by step. Also, be patient with yourself. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel difficult. That is normal. Learning is not a straight line. But if you continue practicing at the right level, you will move forward. And one day, you will notice something exciting. Content that felt impossible before, you now feels comfortable. You understand faster. You think less. You respond more naturally. That is progress. So remember this: know your level. Practice slightly above it. Repeat difficult sectio, ends use shadowing. Learn vocabulary in context, summarize often. Practice daily. And be patient. Improvement is not magic, it is method. When your practice matches your level, growth becomes faster, clearer, stronger. And step by step, you will move from A2 to B1, from B1 to B2, from B2 to C1, and beyond. That is how you improve quickly after identifying your level. And that is how real progress happens. K.40. The building confidence through progressive listening challenges. Welcome back. You have tested your level. You have practiced active listening. You know how to improve step by steps. Now we talk about something very important: confidence. Because improving your English is not only about vocabulary, it is not only about grammar, it is also about belief. Belief that you are improving. Belief that you can understand more. Belief that step by step, you are moving forward. And confidence grows through progressive challenges. What does that mean? It means you do not jump from A2 to C2 in 1 week. You challenge yourself slowly, in small steps. Let me explain. Imagine you are lifting weights at the gym. If you try to lift something too heavy, you fail. You feel discouraged. Maybe you stop trying. But if you lift something slightly heavier than yesterday, you become stronger. Little by little, listening works the same way. If A2 feels easy, try B1. If B1 feels comfortable, try B2. But do not jump too far ahead. When you challenge yourself correctly, something powerful happens. You feel stretched, but not defeated. And every time you understand something new, your confidence grows. Now let's talk about confusion. Temporary confusion is normal. When you move to a higher level, you may feel uncomfortable. You may miss some words. You may not understand everything. That does not mean you are bad at English. It means you are growing. Growth always feels a little uncomfortable. Instead of saying, "This is too hard. I can't do it," try saying, "This is difficult. That means I am learning." This small change in mindset makes a big difference. Now here is a practical method to build confidence. Track your progress. For example, today you listen to a B1 audio. You understand 60%. After 2 weeks of practice, you listen again. Now you understand 85%. That is real improvement. But if you never repeat the same content, you may not notice your growth. Repeating older material shows you how far you have come, and that builds confidence. Another powerful technique is celebrating small wins. Maybe you understood a new word from context. Maybe you followed a full conversation without subtitles. Maybe you summarized an audio clearly. These are victories. Do not wait until you are fluent to feel proud. Feel proud of small steps. Small steps lead to big results. Now let's talk about fear. Many learners are afraid of advanced content. They think, I'm not ready. But you do not need to understand 100% to try. Even understanding 50% at a higher level is progress. You are training your brain to process more complex English. Over time, your percentage will increase. Confidence also grows when you see patterns. For example, at B2 level, you may notice common linking words. However, as a result. In contrast, when you recognize these patterns, listening becomes easier. You feel more in control, and control builds confidence. Now remember something important. Your goal is not to understand everything perfectly. Even native speakers do not understand every word in fast speech. Your goal is steady improvement, from 50% understanding to 60%, from 60% to 75%. That is success. Progressive challenges also help reduce fear of advanced English. When you move step by step, higher levels feel less scary. C1 does not feel impossible. It feels like the next step. And when you finally understand advanced discussions about business, science, or philosophy, you will remember when simple sentences felt difficult, and you will realize how much you have grown. So here is your challenge. Start where you are. Choose content slightly above your comfort zone. Accept temporary confusion. Repeat and review. Track your progress. Celebrate small improvements. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Language learning is not a race. It is a journey. Each level prepares you for the next. Each challenge makes you stronger. Each listening session builds your confidence. And one day, you will notice something beautiful. You are not afraid of higher levels anymore. You are curious. You are excited because you trust your ability to improve. Confidence does not come from being perfect. It comes from seeing progress. So keep challenging yourself, keep listening, keep growing, step by step, level by level, from A1 all the way to C2. And that is how you build real confidence through progressive listening challenges.